The exact date of this event is unknown, but presumably after the events in the Victorian crisis subsided. We see Luo Xiaohei, a spirit who is teleported to Terra with his friends by an unknown means, and is believed to have stayed in Terra for 2 months. Luckily he stumbles upon Li and his detective agency, who are willing to help Xiaohei locate his friends. In the meantime, Xiaohei currently lives with them, but he hasn't told anyone that he's not from this world. We then see Xiaohei on the rooftop in his cat form. He also hasn't told anyone about this shape-shifting ability. He's trying to sleep, but he's restless because he remembers his master and his 2 friends who got separated ever since they arrived in this world. Eventually he goes back inside, as the street of Lungmen is still loud at this hour. We then see Hung, Waifu, A and Xiaohei having a dinner. Li shortly joins in, and tells Xiaohei he still has 0 clues regarding his friends. Seeing the kid is restless and bored, Li asks him to do some detective job to distract his mind. The daughter of a rich Yuan family just lost her pet, and they ask Li's detective agency to look for it. It's a black, or what the locals used to call it, a storm cloud beast. Xiaohei agrees, and is eager to do this job. So Li will take him to the place where the pet is believed to be seen tomorrow. After Xiaohei has done eating and left, Hung tells Li they shouldn't let their guest do their job. But Li explains his reasons, and believed with the kid's martial arts, he is fine on his own. Shifting to Lungmen City's entry checkpoint, we see 2 Rhodes Islanders, Rockrick and Suzerain, along with 2 familiar kids, Xiaobai and Gen, and also Bu, Xiaohei's friends who got separated from him. Although it's unclear how Xiaobai and Argen first encountered Rhodes Island, but Argen said Rockrick found and saved them in the Barren, while they were attacked by a gloom pincer. The 2 are planning to go to Lungmen, and big sister Rockrick decided to help the kids by paying for their trip to the city, and invite them to the Rhodes branch office if they don't have a place to live. Later on, after entering Lungmen, Xiaobai and Argen visit Rhodes Island office. They heard a little bit about Rhodes Island work and oropathy, but Xiaobai is still surprised when she sees the originium crystal surrounding a patient's body. Xiaobai approaches the patient to ask him where Rockrick is, and then wish him to get better soon, not knowing that oropathy is an incurable disease, and faith worse than death for some people. They then head inside a patient's ward where Rockrick and Suzerain is. They were trying to persuade a little girl named Xiao Yuan to go to the Rhodes Island landship for a better treatment. But the girl doesn't want to go without her pet, a storm cloud beast named 67 who went missing last year. Rockrick and Suzerain wanted to help her search for it, but they have other tasks waiting, and other staff is also as busy as them. But then Argen and Xiaobai said they are willing to look for the missing pet, but also explains the results might be not what she had hoped for. Xiao Yuan thanked the 2 of them, and handed over the photo of her missing pet. She also realizes she has been troubling the staff, and it has been a very long time since her pet went missing. So whatever the search results is, she will listen and go to the landship. The next day, we see Xiaohei trying to catch a cloud beast that matches a lost pet description. After he manages to capture the cloud beast, he calls Mr. Li. But surprisingly, Li said the pet has already been found. So the cloud beast that Xiaohei captured must have been a stray or belongs to somebody else. Seeing the cloud beast look skinny, Xiaohei takes it to the agency for the time being. On the other side of the street, Argen and Xiaobai are also on a search for the cloud beast. They then stop by a stall vendor to buy food using money Rockrick gave to them. They learn from the vendor there is an animal rescue shelter in the slums, so they will check it out later. Along the way, Xiaobai expresses her worries about Xiaohei. Unbeknownst to them, Xiaohei is right behind them, but they didn't notice each other's presence. Later that night, Xiaohei takes the mysterious cloud beast to the agency, but for some reason the cloud beast always tries to escape from the place. Xiaohei approaches a cloud beast and uses his ability to talk to it. He learned that the cloud beast is also looking for someone, most likely its master. So Xiaohei decided to help the cloud beast. The next day, Xiaohei got another assignment from Li. This time the client is the emperor. Xiaohei heads to the Penguin Logistics HQ and meets Sura and Kwasang. Kwasang tries to spook the kid by telling him a horror story, which didn't frighten him, but the idol next door got scared instead. Then the emperor meets the kid and tells him what he needs to do. A small animal is living inside their walls making noises, stealing and destroying things, so the emperor wants it taken care of. The emperor already called an exterminator, but they have the guts to suggest tearing the whole walls down. So he goes to Li's DA for help instead. Xiaohei then goes to the warehouse to look for the air ducts. Using his ability to break his tail into a small blobs called Hexiu, he orders them to chase the small animal out of the walls. And shortly Xiaohei captured the critter. It's a tiny animal called the Mist Beast. Xiaohei speaks to it to find another place to live. But then it's revealed the cloud beast from before followed Xiaohei and runs straight to the Must Beast to eat it. Xiaohei prevents it, but the cloud beast already made property damage by knocking over the shelf and hurting himself. Afterward, the Must Beast is put inside a cage, and Xiaohei explains the situation to the emperor. The emperor put aside the property damage, as he wants to see the vermin who trespassing on his property first. Kwasang and the barkeep then explain despite its cute appearance and some love to keep them as a pet, this creature is troublesome to deal with and is pretty much considered a pest. Even the government is planning to prohibit anyone from keeping it, after a bunch of Must Beasts causes a blackout in one of the city's district. Xiaohei then asks what they will do with the creature. The barkeep suggests a very unethical way to end its life, which makes Sura and Xiaohei angry. The emperor then approaches the cage and pulls out his pistol. Xiaohei grabs the barrel and tells the emperor they shouldn't kill it. The Must Beast was just looking for a place to live and survive. But the emperor was just playing with him. The pistol is actually a lighter and he's going to light his cigar. The emperor then said he will adopt the Must Beast. He then orders Xiaohei to grab both animals and follows him. Shortly, California comes in, and upon learning what just happened, she is not surprised and tells them that the emperor used to keep the Must Beast years ago, but it died and broke the man's heart. Shifting back to the emperor and Xiaohei, they're in the slums, visiting a suspicious doctor to take a look at the animal's injuries. When the doc inspects the cloud beast, he realizes he once treated its wound. The pet owner took it to the doc 3 years ago. The doc treated the pet's wound for free, but the owner, who has severe oropathy, asked the doc to adopt it too, giving all his remaining 67 LMD just so that the doc would adopt it. But in the end the doc still refuses, as he can't afford to keep the pet. The story shifts to again. He goes to the slums to visit the rescue shelter alone, to look for information about the missing 67. But after arriving at the shelter, the owner shoos him away. A neighbor then approaches again and tells him to stay away, as the man is grumpy as hell, used to work for the Syracusan mafia, and the whole animal shelter could be a facade. Additionally, the LGD paid him a visit couple of days ago, taking away the LGD's animal that he illegally kept in his house. Learning the shady business that the owner might have done, Argen decided to break into the animal shelter after the neighbor leave. Using his water manipulation ability, he creates ice and lockpicks the door. Inside, there's no animal in sight, only one feeding bowl on the ground, and lots of pet food around. Also a blueprint of LGD's HQ, full of dots and notes around the animal's kennel. The owner then comes in, and was about to attack Argen. But Argen uses his ice, holds the man, and asks him what will he do in the LGD's HQ. The man explained the LGD took away his back beast. It actually belongs to LGD, but he believes the LGD doesn't care about their own pet. He once found the beast dying in the middle of the rubble during Chernobog-Lungman crisis. The man took him in, named him Yang Ni, and the two become best friends. But now the LGD have taken Yang Ni away, and the man is planning to take him back. He also explains other animals he rescued are somewhere else, as his cramped house is not exactly the best place to keep dozens of animals. Argen didn't buy his explanation at first, but when he realizes the man has only got a few steamed buns for dinner, as he spends everything on pet food, he releases the man. The two then strike a deal. Argen will help the man rescue his pet. In return, the man will show him files about 67 he might keep. We then see Argen in the Rhodes Island office, and Rockrook asks him what's wrong. He explains everything in the animal shelter to Rockrook. Although Rockrook acknowledges Argen's abilities, but Big Sis Rockrook won't let a kid dive himself into big trouble like this. So she's willing to help with the operation by using her new drone to help him navigate the HQ and disable the cameras. The next day, Argen meets the shelter owner and they are ready to conduct the operation. Argen will accuse the shelter owner of stealing a bike, so that he will be put into a detention cell where it is close to the animal kennel, and Argen will be asked to come inside to write a statement. Later on, their plan went smoothly. Argen manages to slip away from the police and free the shelter owner from his cell. They then head to the animal kennel, and thanks to Rockrook's drone, they arrived there without a trouble. They managed to find Yang Ni, but after seeing the police has been keeping better care of him, the man thinks it's better if Yang Ni stays here. But then Rockrook informs them that a cop is approaching. Argen manages to hold back the cop, who is apparently a Beckbeast trainer. But the cop soon realizes these trespassers are from the animal shelter, and they are here to take back the animal. The cop insults the shelter owner, which created a fight, but it is a very pathetic fight. Argen and Rockrook then notice Yang Ni is restless. He wanted to stop the two from fighting. Argen released him from his cage, and Yang Ni rushed to the two. Both then stopped their lame fight. One thing led to another. The trainer let the shelter owner take Yang Ni, as Yang Ni seems to be more lively when he's around, and he never see Yang Ni this lively ever since he lose his original owner and partner. But remind the shelter owner to take good care of Yang Ni. Then the trainer lead them outside while avoiding other police. The shelter owner kept his promise and helped Argen search for the missing 67. After rummaging through some files, he found a file with 67 in it. The man wants to rescue him, but he escaped. And when the man was searching for him, he only found 67 snapped collar, on a large amount of blood on the ground. Believing 67 did not survive, Argen then found the said collar beneath the table, and there's a 67 word inscribed. It's the worst search results, but either way, he needs to go back to Zhao Yuan and tell about this. Later on, back in the Rhodes Island branch office, Argen has told Zhao Yuan about the bad news. The kid cries, but she promises not to lose to the grief and will soon be ready to leave. But seeing she is deeply pained, Zhao Bai suggests holding a funeral for 67. An innocent Zhao Bai then heads to the nearest funeral parlor. She explains to the staff she wanted to hold a funeral for her friend's pet. The staff thinks she is playing around, as those people who came to this establishment to hold a funeral, especially a pet, are wealthy people. But upon seeing the pet's picture, and mistaken the owner name Zhao Yuan as the wealthy Yuan family daughter who also has similar cloud beast, he begins to take Zhao Bai seriously. Since he wanted to be on the good side of the Yuan family, he will send a team to hold an extravagant funeral free of charge for the pet. Zhao Bai didn't realize it was a big misunderstanding. The girl then tells Zhao Yuan about the funeral, and then go outside searching for Suziran to ask her to perform the ritual. Along the way, Zhao Bai notices the funeral parlor staff talking to someone on his phone. Hearing their conversation, she notices something odd, like how the guy keeps mentioning the client as the daughter of the Yuan family, despite Zhao Yuan clearly isn't. Xiao Bai thinks there might be a misunderstanding, but she looks for Suzerain first. She finds Suzerain in an empty lot in the city reciting a prayer. It's a place where infected hold their funeral. Most infected don't have money for a cemetery, so the friends or relatives of the deceased will come here to hang photos of them to pay their respect. Strangely, Xiao Bai notices a picture of 67 in one of the photos. But the one who is beside 67 is not Zhao Yun. After witnessing the difference in funeral between the infected and non-infected, and remembering what the staff talk on his phone, she realizes there has been a big misunderstanding. So Xiao Bai contact the funeral parlor staff about this. The staff is angry after knowing the truth, but he can't demand compensation, as he did this secretly without his boss's approval. After the staff leave, Xiao Bai meets the others at the empty lot. Xiao Bai feels sorry as she failed to hold a funeral for 67. But Zhao Yuan said it's fine, she likes to keep things simple. The group went quiet. Until out of nowhere, Xiaohei comes in with the cloud beast in tow. The separated friends finally reunited. And what is more surprising, the cloud beast who is with Xiaohei is actually 67. Xiaohei was here because the doc told him he might find clues about 67 owner in this place, but instead found the owner herself. Then Xiao Yuan said she is not the first owner of 67. She once found him lying on a bag with 67 LMD inside, and apparently named him 67 because of that. Xiao Bai then shows everyone the photo of 67, with an unknown person she found earlier. When seeing it, 67 rubbed his face to the guy in the photo. It is his first owner who already passed away because of oropathy, and the one who he never stopped searching for in the last 3 years. 67 now realize his first owner has already gone from this world. But Argen said the owner will live forever in 67 memories. Xiao Bai then asks whether Xiaohei and Argen will always remember her. To which the two said yes, and the trio hugs. Later on, Zhao Yuan is ready to go to the land ship with Rockrick and Suzerain. Xiaohei is also going with them to deliver something from Li. Xiao Bai and Argen also decided to go to Rhodes Island. The story then shows us what happened to the other side characters. The trainer come to visit Yang Ni and the shelter owner. Seeing the shelter owner has eaten nothing but steamed buns, he gives him some vegetables and eggs. Wali Fu and Hung miss Xiaohei and the cloud beast presents. Wali Fu then suggests they get a pet, but cancel the plan after realizing A has already given them too much trouble. While the emperor is bonding with his moss beast by singing a rap song together. The last part of the story is mostly about BU. After arriving at the land ship, the kids stay and do some work for Rhodes Island. As for BU, like always he makes trouble, running around eating foods and wooden materials when Xiaohei is not around. Rhodes Island officers didn't ask the kids to pay for a compensation, because that's too cruel. Instead we sent them to do a few missions outside. But first they need someone to take care of BU while they're away. Then our 3 robots comes in, saying they are willing to take care of BU. And one thing led to another, they leave BU in their care, and tells them to only allow BU to go out from his cage if Haxiu are around. In the first few days BU in their care, he's not very happy. The robots followed the pet care instructions manual too strictly. But then Rockrick comes in, saying to the robot they shouldn't overthink it, and let BU do what he likes, especially now there's Haxiu around. She then pulls out a couple of wooden materials to feed it to BU, and tells the robots others can feed him too, as long as it's not a metal or something alive. After Rockrick leaves, the robots takes BU for a ride and feed him some wooden chopsticks. And then stop at the deck to see the setting sun. In the distance they can see the vehicles transporting the trio from their missions. And then they go to meet with Xiaohei and the others. Well, that's all the story for Luo Xiaohei collaboration event. Hope this helped you understand the story. Especially if you don't have time to read it the in-game story. That should be all. Peace is always an option. Adios.